The recent demolition of the Alex Grimson Memorial Music Shell in Liverpool has revealed the growing issue of homelessness in the area. This demolition has forced many homeless to find shelter elsewhere. Nicole Ullman, a volunteer at St Thomas Anglican Church Moorebank, tells us how these local churches work with the community to assist many of these people.
We try and get them involved in the church community so that they have this sense of community, and it's really important, as well as just providing them with their basic, food and stuff like that, which, it just gives them that sense of having someone to talk to. So recently the music shell in Big Park was closed down, which meant that a lot of people homeless people who resided there had to move out, which meant that they're placed on the streets. It doesn't provide them with anywhere else to go, which is a big issue in the area, and we've noticed a lot more people coming in, and even just on the street, a lot more homeless people. Unfortunately, it's not just an issue that we see in the city. It's starting to become a really big issue everywhere, even in the suburbs like out here. The recent developments in the Moorebank area, I think they'd be good and bad. I suppose they're good and they create more opportunities for local business, infrastructure, but it doesn't address the issues that we see here at the church when we have people come in, who don't have somewhere to live.
The PCYC is basically set up to run a number of community programs, and it will do everything from like mothers and babies groups coming into the centre and doing gymnastics or just having a social gathering and stuff like that. It'll also work with local area commands with their crime prevention officer and run crime prevention programs. And aside from that, they run a lot of programs with disadvantaged youths. It might be a basketball program, a sport program, it might be boxing, it might be a reading group. There are a whole lot of different sort of things. I suppose they touch on the older community with what they call target hardening, and they try and teach people how to keep themselves safe when they're walking down the street, and then keep their homes safe and things like that. So they're the sort of community things that the PCYC are involved in. Kids who are underprivileged or who come from low income families and things like that don't have the normal opportunities to join the sporting club or to be involved in any sorts of groups, or to be involved in social gatherings and networking other than, outside in malls and on the street and stuff like that. They provide some of the programs based on need, really. So what are the kids interested in? If it's a basketball competition, or if it is, to come to use gym facilities and learn how to use those, or if it's, sparring and boxing and stuff like that, they'll set up programs tailored around, the community need. And then, offer some other programs as well that they think might be interesting to kids like that. Often you'll find too that local area commands, if they're coming across a kid time and time again that they're out and they're offending and getting themselves into trouble, they'll refer them down to the PCYC and try and get an intervention started like that, where they can actually be involved in something that's well structured and that'll basically keep them off the streets. Well, I look at the marina and I think it was largely a parcel of land that was undeveloped, and it had people living on it, whether they were living in houses or whether they were camping out or whatever. And I think it's going to disperse those people from the actual area and sort of open the area up to a more affluent clientele, and it'll be quite competitive for people to get into the housing market. So I think that that's got the knock-on effect of displacing people who are on middle or lower income sort of, and dispersing them out of the area and making it an area that's really there for the rich and affluent. So where those people get dispersed to and whether there's going to be sufficient housing for those people, who knows? And it could create quite a problem there with homelessness and people not having anywhere to go at all.
Well, I think I mainly work with children, and I think working with the children is going to benefit the community, because they're the ones that are going to be growing up and becoming the adults of the future. So it's better to get them when they're young and to help them, because if they've got a history of abuse or drug or alcohol problems, you need to help them now so that they don't grow up to be a strain on the community and more a help to the community. Well, there's out-of-home care, which is a foster care program. It's for children who are in violent situations or where there's drug or alcohol abuse, and we need to put them into a safe home.